We talk about Quarterback Vanguard a lot because we just know it so well, but I think it's really interesting how they've been very stand strong about their stance of free regional tournaments with no monetary or pack prizes, except for a paid Worlds invite, where you see basically every other company is a very, very competitive event, which there's prizes and stuff. Oh, Aaron's got a face. He's got a face. And I'm just curious, what do you think? I think there are pros and cons to that because it does make those kind of experiences more open towards casuals, at least in my opinion. But I'm curious
Yeah.
what your thoughts on this.
I think Bushiroad's prize structure is one of the worst things in their competitive formats. Their regionals are meant to be competitive tournaments. It's meant to be you win this, you go to Worlds, but why isn't there any additional prizes attached to it, you know? Every other game there's a payout to top 8, whether it's packs or whatever. I don't get why Bushra doesn't adopt that. What do you win for winning Worlds? You get 2 promo cards and then a trophy. To me, it's not super worth. I mean, it's cool to do and everything. I don't have any hate for Bushiroad. It's just how they choose to do their game. I just kind of think it's wrong.
Yeah, that's fair. I think this year is actually an interesting case study in itself because Worlds was in LA and people are like, I want to go to LA. Normally it's
Yeah,
in
instead of
Japan,
Japan,
right?
yeah.
And normally it's in Japan. Everyone's like, oh shoot, free flight to Japan, let's go. But this one was in LA. I think it kind of disappointed a lot of people. But it's also, I feel like it disappointed the US people, and the international people were still
Yeah.
cool. LA sounds fun. But I think for every competitive player, I would say I always hear stories of people who are very new to the game, who show up for regionals, and I had a ton of fun. It definitely made me want to play more. It got me excited, and I don't think that
Hmm.
would happen if there was a. I would say it would probably still happen if there was prize pools, but I don't think it would happen if there was an entry fee involved, which I think every
Hmm.
other regionals has entry involved. Which it does a weird thing, right? It allows them to support prizes, and it at the same time it blocks off the casual players, but it also makes the event more prestigious because there's a cost to enter. It makes it more competitive
Yeah.
just by having it that entry fee. I don't know. It's interesting
I
to think
think
about.
for casual players, I think the biggest cool thing, in my opinion, are side events at these regional tournaments.
Mm,
So at every YCS, if you want to run GOAT format, so this is alternate formats and stuff. So this is 2006 Yu-Gi-Oh! You bring a deck from 2006, you ask them to run a tournament, they'll do it. And that to me is how you make a regional experience super enjoyable for a casual player.
I actually so agree with that. And
So,
and not more than this half-assed thing that Bushido does. Oh, free fights,
mhm.
right?
And
It's
it's what's
actually
the
having
point?
those events.
So I'm gonna read you off. Digimon Nationals is coming up at the end of February, and here's some of their side events, which I think is wildly cool. They have Team Wars, 32 team capacity. It's $30 per team. Winner of the whole thing gets 3 boxes, so 1 box each player.
Oh, cool.
Have on-demand pre-release, so you can do a pre-release tournament at the shop or at whatever the location is. On-demand win a box for $10, 8 people only, so that's 3 rounds. You only have to win 3 rounds and you get a box. On-demand win a mat, which is also really cool for casual players, $10. By the way, just for participating, you get 3 packs in these events, and then also a promo pack. And then first place gets the 2022 final championship participation mat, which is cool if you didn't get to qualify for the finals. On-demand championship finals event alt art stamp set, which is again alt art promos all stamped with the Nationals logo on it for $15. And then it goes on for Saturday as well. It goes on for Sunday as well. It's just I think your nationals and regional level events are supposed to be all day fun with the card game.
I'm actually really glad you brought that up because when you did, it got me thinking about probably one of the most fun times I had going to a regional event. I think it was a PTQ for Magic that I went to with a friend in college, and it was a draft event. Didn't do that well or something, so we dropped out. But they had a lot of side events, and I don't know if you're familiar with two-headed giant. Basically, we take our turn, and then you take your turn, and you're two-headed giant because you're like, hey, what you got, what you got. You know, you're strategizing together and stuff. And so they had a two-headed giant draft tournament. So you would also
Oh my
draft
god.
as a team, and you would open two packs at the same time and then pick two cards and then pass it. It was so much fun, and then
It's
just playing
fun.
with my friend there against other people who came with their friends or maybe their significant other. That was one of the most enjoyable TCG moments for me. And so I'm glad you brought that up, and I feel it's a really good point that hasn't really existed because of the pandemic. I hope that companies will kind of bring that back. The side event culture
Mhm.
definitely is a big boon. I hope Locarno does some cool stuff